Want a Donald Mackerel game with me, Donald Mackerel, and we're doing another 10 fantastic video game songs. I'm probably going to do a commenters edition next because we did have quite a few on the first one, just we never actually managed to get it up to 10 songs. Only need a couple more suggestions, so plonk your favourite video game songs in the list. The first one was my favourite 10 songs of all time. It was impossible to pick, to be honest. There were so many that should have made the list that I thought it's not fair. I need to do a second one. Since then, there's more songs that have come into my life that I've heard on lists that I don't really think deserve to be on this, because although they're fantastic tunes, they didn't really play a big part in my life, even though they are genius, like Plock on the SNES. Who the hell thought that was a great idea to make such an amazing soundtrack for such a bang average game? And Pictionary on the NES. I mean, if you've ever wanted a song that does not describe the game that you are playing, that would be the Pictionary theme. But we're going to go into 10 more of my favourite songs. And we're going to start off with an absolute Stonewall classic. It's the best one in the series. It's never been bettered. It's when CD sort of sound came around. Like, it was always a decent tune before that, but as soon as you got that big band CD version, you got to go with Leisure Suit Larry 7, Love for Sale. What a weird, quirky game that is. A point-and-click adventure sort of thing. Not very child-friendly, very much for the adults, but fun anyway. It's like camp, a bit like Carry On sort of humour. Also impossible to play unless you've got some sort of guide, because none of the puzzles make any sense. But I just used to love the soundtrack. I loved the humour. It was all for me. And again, that soundtrack, particularly that... There's nice, relaxing sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, like yacht rock. It's not really rock, just like jazz. Like nice, calming background music all the way through it. That theme just absolutely slaps. It's fantastic. So, yeah, that should have gone on my first list. It just narrowly missed out. So, definitely putting it on this one. Next up is a song that I mentioned recently on one of my last videos, where I was talking about songs that just drew me into a game. This is actually what inspired me to make this second list, because oh my god, how did that or anything off this game not make it onto my first video? Yeah, I've got to give it to, hang on, I need to read this because this is impossible. It's off the first ever Grand Theft Auto game. Oh Jamo, I'll put it up somewhere. Oh Jamo, and the song is called Complications. I just knew it as the song of Grand Theft Auto. So yeah, back when Grand Theft Auto wasn't as complex as it was today, I mean, it started a storyline, the voice acting was atrocious. It was just mainly what we used to play at school, where we'd just be going around ploughing over people, smashing into, I think there was Harry Krishnas all over the shop, but we never actually went round doing the missions, like answering phones and doing things. It's only when I got older that I decided to play that, when it got into like the PS1 and things, because I was playing it on like the PC originally. But yeah, that tune, in fact, the vast majority of songs, they were written specifically for that game. They're not pre-existing songs, but they were all just absolutely class. They were like 2 to 3 minute, works of art. But Complications definitely comes out on top for me. Now, remember, none of these are in order, and some of these games you'll have never heard of, such as track 17 from Pinball Graffiti on the Sega Saturn. What a tune though, what an absolute tune. Just, again, who the hell thinks that this represents a pinball game? It's proper 80s hair metal, but it's just genius. And this isn't the only thing on there. The entire soundtrack was brilliant. There was like 30-second snippets that were all just like quite punchy and quite fun. But it seems that more effort went into the soundtrack than actually into the game. The clown levels were beyond amazing. Like when I was still making comedy videos, I would rip songs from my Pinball Graffiti soundtrack to put over the top of my comedy videos, just because the clown songs were that funny. There's also a love song on there. Again, why put on a pinball game? Whereas remember, it starts off with the lyrics, ooh, yes. It's absolutely insanity. If you do get the chance, get on YouTube, give it a listen. It will not disappoint. But yeah, Pinball Graffiti with track 17. So we're going to stay with the Sega Saturn, this time onto a sports game of all games. It's International Victory Goal with Rush for Goal. Now this got a different name in North America. I think it was called something like Sega Worldwide Soccer or something like that. But I just remember the cheapo version that I got with my Sega Saturn. And I was never really that interested in football, so it was one of those, I've got it, I might as well play it. I think I only had like 3 games to begin with on the Sega Saturn. I just remember putting it in, and the opening track was absolute beast. But when it got to Rush for Goal, again, what is this doing on a sports game? Yet again, 80s hair metal, fantastic guitar playing, just an absolute slammer of a tune. It's one of the ones that, like, I would take that CD out of my Sega Saturn and I would play it in my little compact disc player with my earphones in to go to sleep at night. Genius. Like, the game wasn't the best, if I'm honest with you, but the soundtrack, what a soundtrack. So again, please, if you get the time, do go and search for International Victory Goal on YouTube and just listen to some of those tracks. They were all amazing. But yeah, Rush for Goal was definitely the best. Now, people should have seen this missing from the first one. I don't know how I forgot about this. But again, nobody commented this, and it really should have got in there. It should have punched its way into your mind. It is Chop Chop Master Onion's theme from Parappa the Rapper. Again, another game where pretty much every single track on there was a banger. The frog dude with his little reggae was brilliant. The chicken lady, I'm not good with the names, chicken lady doing her weird hip-hop tune in the car. But everybody remembers Chop Chop Master Onion because it is the first level you get to, and it just sets you up for what's in store. An absolute load of insanity coming your ways with some brilliant songs that just get stuck in your head. So yeah, the bit at the end as well, where they mix all the songs in together. Chop Chop Master Onions is still the best bit. Chop Chop Master Onion, what a hero. So yeah, Parappa the Rapper with Chop Chop Master Onion's theme. Up next, we have further proof of what a wimp I am. This game, I would get to the first boss as a kid and chicken out and couldn't play it anymore. But the soundtrack added to this. I can't put into words what it did to a young me's brain. On the Sega Master System, we have the level theme for Alien Syndrome. My parents probably let me watch the film Alien and Aliens at far too young an age. And it was quite clear that there was a lot of inspirations drawn on that. But bizarrely, there was a lot of those in Alien Breed as well. It's just the soundtrack to Alien Breed was actually quite light. It was like quite energetic. This was just depression. It was just morbid. Oh my word. I don't think I'm going to last very long on this game. The big horrible blue things walking towards me are going to tear me head off. So when you get to that first boss as well, although the music does change with the boss, it does brighten up a bit, surprisingly. But the massive boss with the big bulky mass at the bottom of it and the red head firing things like, no, not for me, not for me. Scared the life out of me, and that fear has stayed with me all the way through up to my adult life. I should really try and play it again. I'm sure it's not scary, but it's just in my head. That soundtrack and that boss and that opening level. Oh my god, the doo-doo bomb. It's like, no! It's like Jaws in space. Yeah, Alien Syndrome on the Sega Master System. Next up, we've got a very, very short one. This is, again, just a personal choice. I'm sure most people hated this game, but I thought it was actually like quite fun, and the soundtrack to it was amazing. It's Flatulent Swamps off the game Boogerman. So going back to not having much choice of games, when I had a Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis, as we should call it in America, when I had that, I only had 3 games to start off with. I had Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I had Bubsy, which, oh my word, not a great game, and then I had Boogerman. And I remember people sort of saying, like, you know, oh, Bubsy's great, Bubsy's the new Sonic, Boogerman's terrible. Boogerman was probably my favourite of the 3. A lot of it was the humour, again going back to the Leisure Suit Larry mentioned, just stupid childish humour like flicking bogies, farting on people, it's just belching. Yeah, it was just absolutely great. I loved the platform action as well, I thought it was great. And the soundtrack was quality. It was really, really good. Again, it was like they put a lot of effort into such a mediocre game. But I suppose that's why it holds like a big thing for me in my heart. Is I didn't have many games, and that was probably the best of the bunch. But yeah, Flatulent Swamps from Booger Man. We're moving back onto CD quality music again here. We're going to go for a PS1 game in Incredible Crisis, the weird minigame collection, and Taneo's Dance Fever. So this game and this bit in particular was very, very similar to Parappa the Rapper, i.e. press this button at this particular time to get through, only it was a lot harder than Parappa. I don't think I got further than the bit where you're on the the table on the back of the ambulance and you're rolling down the road behind him. This was the first level you got to, and again, so much effort put into this. It's where Taneo is is at like a dance thingy, and it starts off nice and easy, like press X now, press left now, okay, and the music's quite cool and funky. And then just out of nowhere, it just ramps up a level and you go, what am I doing? And that just sets you up for the game. The rest of the game is just pure mayhem. It's absolute insanity. It's brilliant. It's one of the best games on the PS1 if you're into mini games. So yeah, do go and get Incredible Crisis and listen out for Taneo's Dance Party. Sorry, Dance Fever. I had to look at my notes then. Now this game only just about makes it in, but I needed a ZX Spectrum game. That was my first ever computer, my first ever love. And we're going to go with Ghost Hunters on the ZX Spectrum, the main theme. I say the main theme, there's no other theme. As soon as you get into the game, that's it. So you've just got the one song, which is a copy of an old horror song. I forget the name of it. I will try and donk it up if I can remember. But it's absolutely brilliant. The noise they make with a ZX Spectrum for that, you can see why they only put it onto the opening screen and it didn't get any further. But I remember going to school and talking to my friends about it, and it was quite creepy. Like Ghost Hunter was, it wasn't a creepy game, it was just a platformer. It was a bit like Super Robin Hood, that sort of thing, where you're just jumping around, collecting things, and you get to the end of the level, fine. But just that one song right at the very start seems to set you up for a bit of a fright. So yeah, Ghost Hunter on the ZX Spectrum, what a fantastic tune. Time for a solemn moment now, as I'm sure this song is going to affect a lot of people in the chat. There's going to be a lot of people that have lost very, very, very important members of their team to this. It is the opening track to Worms. So genuinely, I know we got onto games recently where you'd build your own team and it was permadeath involved, i.e. Like XCOM, if that one member dies, they're gone forever and you get your little graveyard to them. Worms, every single time one of my team were killed, I felt it personally. It really like dug into me, especially when I was playing the computer and I was absolutely thrashing them, and then they just fire a bazooka shot out of nowhere and blow my best dude into the water. Just absolutely gutted me. And when you first put that disc in, it's all sort of tongue-in-cheek, like, oh yeah, military, yeah, worms blowing each other up. Genuinely, when you get attached to them and that comes on, it's like, it really tugs on the heartstrings. So yeah, some of my poor old team members, it's proper stuck with me and really, really upset me. But that tune, the opening tune to Worms, the Worms theme, I suppose you'd call it, yeah, absolutely gutting. And it, in a way, it reminds you of the horrors of war. So yeah, the opening theme from Worms. Now the last one is an absolute classic. Back when I was a comedian, I mentioned this in a YouTube video ages ago for another comedian who was starting up his gaming channel. I can't remember what happened to it. I think it sort of went under. But I remember he asked me about a peak moment in my life, something that got me hooked into gaming. And it was when I went down the arcade and I played Outrun. And I remember hearing for the first time, Magical Sound Shower. when you first hear that song, when you're sat there in the cabinet as a little kid and you get to choose which song you're going to race to by moving your steering wheel left or right and then pressing the accelerator. Magical soundshare, man. I mean, again, the vast majority of the tunes, not from that original game, but from the entire franchise that went into the Outrun series. Good God, it was known as not only a solid racer, but some solid tunes on there too. Magical soundshare though, blimey heck. How is that still stuck in my head now when I first remember playing it on the promenade at Rill Beach? Yeah, definitely stuck in there to this day. Definitely one of the best songs of all time. So again, that's 10 songs. There's going to be some on there you don't agree with. There's going to be some on there you've never heard of. There's going to be some in your head where you're going, why the hell haven't you mentioned this? It's been 2 videos, Donald. Genuinely, anybody who commented on the first video, I am collating all those. I will be doing a little commenters list. But please, if you've got any songs, donk them in here. One of the best suggestions last time was the opening song from Command and Conquer. I forget what it's called, but someone sent me like a rock version, a band playing it live. Blimey, that had completely slipped my mind, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, good God, what a fantastic tune. It would have made this list, bar the fact that I want to do a commenters one. So please do comment some absolute genius songs, anything that you love that is specific to the game, i.e. not Mick Gordon doing his Doom soundtrack or Hayley Westenra doing the soundtrack to blooming Endless Ocean. Nothing off Wipeout, nothing off the Grand Theft Auto series where it's actual pre-existing music like Michael Jackson with Billie Jean or something like that. It's got to be composed specifically for that game and not by an artist. So please do comment that. I will do a commenters video in the future after we've collated them all. I've heard them and I've gone, blooming, this is good, but I'm not going to stick Plock on it. Because Block is just insane, and there's no way in a million... Let's put that finger away. There's no way in a million years we are going to put Pictionary on there, despite it being an absolutely bloody brilliant tune to a bog standard game. Yeah, this has been Donald Mackerel for Donald Mackerel Gaming. I hope you've enjoyed the music on this. I've enjoyed it a lot. I'll see you all again soon. Cheers, everybody.